Welcome to Coen and Kerr. This is Virginia, so that means it's election season. And on June 13th, we have a Republican primary for the 28th district seat. If you are in Fredericksburg on the east side of 95 in Stafford, and a little bit on the west side of Hampton Oaks and over towards England Run, you get to choose one of these three individuals to be the Republican nominee for delegate. We have our debate this afternoon we have the three candidates. We have Paul Milday, who is from the Acquired District on the Stafford County Board of Supervisors. He is currently the chairman. We have Susan Simpson from the Falmouth District. She served on the Board of Supervisors and also at one time was the chairman. And then we also have Bob Thomas, who's from the George Washington District, and he has served in that committee and has been a chairman. The format for the debate is rather straightforward. It's our normal format. The candidates will have 2 minutes for opening statements, and then David Kerr, my co-host, is going to be asking them questions. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond. They do not have rebuttal time. If there's issues that they wish to bring up, they can either use time in their next answer, or they can save it for their closing statements. We will have a closing statement at the end from each candidate, which is also 2 minutes. So now let's move on to the debate.
We've gone by lots to determine who is going to speak first. Trying to get our edge here. We've drawn lots to see who's going to speak first, middle, or last. And with that in mind, Bob, you got the first place.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank our hosts here, Mr. Coen and Mr. Kerr. We appreciate the service that you provide to the community in talking about issues on both sides of the aisle and bringing the information and news to the citizens on the cable access television. So thank you. As stated, my name is Bob Thomas. My wife, Christy, and I have 8 children. We have 7 daughters and a boy, and they are currently going through either Ferry Farm Elementary, Dixon Smith Middle School, or Stafford Senior High School in Stafford County. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 18, fresh out of high school, and I served in Okinawa, Japan for about 4 years, and then my orders brought me here to Quantico, Virginia, where I served another 3 years. After I got out of the Marine Corps, I worked for a large contractor up in Reston, Virginia, and I got to do the 2.5-hour commute that we all were used to back then. And then about 3 years after that, a Marine buddy of mine, we decided to start a company. So 10 years ago, we started Capriccio Software with just the 2 of us. And we've grown that to nearly 30 employees over those 10 years. And I'm happy to say that a majority of our employees are veterans or they're on reserve duty as well. Some of you may recognize me. I volunteer a lot with the Stafford High School Tribe of Pride Marching Band. So you see me running around the football fields in the fall. And also I am representing the George Washington District, which is the southeast part of Stafford County, on the Stafford County Board of Supervisors. I was recently elected to the VACO Board of Directors, and that's the association that represents all the counties in Virginia. I'm a staunch conservative. I'm pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, very fiscally conservative, and my business acumen and experience helps me bring that to the government here in Stafford County. And also, I believe strongly that we need government to be limited at all levels. A lot of times we complain about the federal government pushing down to Richmond, but Richmond needs to remember that they also do the same thing to local elected officials as well. And
thank you, Mr. Thomas. I appreciate that. Mr. Mildy?
Thank you. My name is Paul Milday, and thank you for having us. My name is Paul Milday. I'm on the Stafford Board of Supervisors representing the Acquired District, and I'm also the current chairman. And I'll say that I've served, we've all served together on the board at one point or the other, and we had good working relationships and we did a lot of good things. We find that we agreed most of the time on issues, and we've had a good campaign so far, and I hope to keep it that way, above board and positive. I'm a Virginian. I moved to Stafford about 31 years ago. I'd already started a business then. I've been a small business owner my whole adult life. But I've met my wife and had 2 children who had attended Stafford schools who they're now grown. I've been my 3rd term on the Stafford County Board of Supervisors. I've won 3 elections, and hopefully this will be my 4th, not counting a primary that I won in 2005. So I have a record of winning elections. But I have a conservative record. You'll find that I've voted in a conservative fashion across the board. But more importantly, or just as importantly, I think I like to demonstrate that I have a record of achievement. My name has been associated, rightfully so, as a leader in conservation efforts in Stafford County. We've amassed around almost 10,000 acres in property taken out of the potential of development, saved from development, definitely, while redirecting growth to our urban services area. I've also been on the board the whole time. I've been on the board, we've led in the Virginia, a rolling average of Virginia counties, top 10 and sometimes top 5% of counties that are top in job creation, top in wage growth, top in new business development. I'd like to take some of that experience to Richmond and use some of the tools and some of the proven effective ways of governing that we've demonstrated here, such as eliminating people and reducing other taxes. I'm out of time.
Thank you, Mr. Milday. Mrs. Simpson. Mrs. Simpson.
Thank you again for having us. There's a giant void in politics. We all feel it. If we want to put our 2 cents into the game, then we have to join the game. What I hope to do is to be my neighborhood's voice, my community's voice, tell your story the way that your story hasn't been told. The wife of a United States Marine, began enlisted when he was 17, went to the Naval Academy. I moved here when I was 18 and went to Mary Washington. And we moved around the country while he served our nation. But we came back home to Fredericksburg to raise our 2 children here. I ran for the Board of Supervisors campaigning to cut taxes. I don't know if you know this or not, but Americans pay more in taxes than they do for food, shelter, and clothing combined. It's taking its toll. What I did when I was on the board was I worked with my fellow board members in those 4 years. We cut 9 taxes, including overall real estate taxes, 3 years in a row. What does it mean if your tax goes up? I believe that God has given us all the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The more the government takes from you, the less ability you have to make decisions for your family. That's why I fought hard to cut taxes, along with Mr. Milday, on relieving small business, the bead pole tax. But I also believe homeowners are falling under the weight of real estate taxes. And I am the only candidate in this race who has never voted to raise your taxes, and I never will. And you have my pledge. I've signed that pledge. I have a record of keeping my word. Let's take our vision to Richmond. The status quo isn't working. Virginia has fallen from number 1 to number 33 in the nation for business. Stafford did the converse, jumping to number 1 when we cut taxes.
Well, I want to thank all of you for those outstanding opening statements. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to start with the questions. Don't go away. We'll be right back.